Oh, 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 oh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big Thyme Rush's first podcast. Are you excited, Trevor?
I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
That's good to hear.
So the first topic is the minutia of effectively flirting with women.
Because we know so much about that.
We know a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of experience.
Yeah.
We're in our office right now, which is actually just a car parked outside of a high school.
No, it's
a real office.
Yeah, it's just like a studio apartment.
But hypothetically, if we were just sitting in a car parked outside of a high school, it looks like someone spray painted a penis on that brick wall over there. You see it?
Yeah.
It's like it's not even that good. Like the back of the sack is flat. You know, like the other night I had a dream my best friend cut off one of my testicles. Or like part of one of my testicles with like a razor blade. She just took like a slice out of it. It was like the most messed up thing ever. Okay. We should probably talk about the minutia of effectively flirting with women.
Alright.
So, I was thinking about it last night, and I came up with 4 steps on how to, like, effectively swoon anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I'll just start with step 1.
Alright.
And then we'll work our way through all 4. So,
sounds good.
Step 1 is to disguise insults as compliments. Now, girls really like this because they don't like being complimented. They say they do, but they have a thing for, like, having low self-esteem.
Yeah. I mean, girls are confusing.
Yeah,
it's
they are.
They say one thing, they mean the other. It's like,
they want you to compliment them, but at the same time, they want to feel like shit.
Subconsciously.
Yeah. On the inside, they hate themselves.
Yeah.
And they want other people to hate them, too. So I have a story about how this works out. So I work in a coffee shop.
We work in a coffee shop.
We work in a coffee shop. And there's this girl that keeps coming in. I won't name her name, but we'll call her what?
Let's call her Larry.
Larry. Yeah, her name is Larry. So Larry came in, and right, Larry's super attractive, right? Like 9 out of 10, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being incredibly attractive and 1 being like really, really ugly.
This is weird because we actually have Larry that comes in.
We have like the guy Larry that's like 250 pounds, like a really deep voice, and then there's Larry, the alter
very
ego.
attractive girl,
whose name isn't actually Larry.
Code name
Larry.
Yeah.
But so it's gonna fuck with our audio, damn it. Anyway, so Larry came in, right? Really attractive girl, and she was wearing some colorful leggings, some really nice colorful leggings. I was like, oh hey, those leggings are really colorful. She was like, oh yeah, thanks. I was like, they make my eyes hurt. You gotta hit them with it. You know, you can't just like mutter it. You gotta just like full on throw it at them. Yeah, like the other day, I was working the register, and this girl I work with, we'll call her Frank.
Yeah.
Frank. Frank was like, can you toss me that pen? And she was like, looking at like a date label or something, and I like threw the pen at her, and it hit her in the arm, and Frank was like, you could have waited until I was ready. And then like 30 seconds after that, I was smiling. I was like, I know it probably shouldn't have made me that happy, but it made me really happy to throw that pen at you. Then she called me rude.
But secretly,
she was really into it.
Yeah.
After that, I told her that my heart recently grew 3 sizes, but it was already like really small before that, so I'm still an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It worked for the Grinch. It did not work for me. It didn't go well.
I mean, his didn't grow 3 sizes. It just grew 3 sizes too large.
Does it say 3 sizes too large?
I think so.
I don't think it's like his heart grew too big. Like, he's too much of a nice guy now. He's like a doormat. Everyone treats him like shit and takes advantage of him.
I mean, like, since his heart got so big, that could cause him serious medical problems.
It's messed up. Don't joke about that. Someone out there with that condition right now. They don't appreciate you.
No one appreciates me.
Okay, so that's step 1, right?
Yeah.
disguise insults as compliments. They really like it because women like being verbally disparaged.
Yeah.
Okay. On to step 2. Threaten them. Women like men that appear to be dangerous. And what they like even more than that is to feel some of that danger themselves. You know, it gets their fight or flight response going. Drives them crazy. They really like it. So, yesterday, 2 girls came into the coffee shop and they were like, "Can we get 2 20-ounce mochas?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, you can, girl." So I was making the 2 20-ounce mochas, but I got into an argument with one of them because the other day they came in and we were talking about blended coffee and whether or not people would naturally think that's hot or cold. It's a cold drink. We make it all the time for people. They're like, "Oh, it's iced." It's like, yeah, no, we're going to put hot coffee in a blender and turn it on. You're so smart. Anyway, so we'll call this girl Chuck. Chuck was like, "Yeah, people would think it's hot." And I was like, "Okay, well, you're pissing me off." And then, so while I was making her mocha, I threatened to pour bleach into her drink. She really liked it.
Yeah, and then you came out with the Windex bottle and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's empty. I used it all in a latte."
Yeah, I used it all in Chuck's latte. We need to get some more Windex.
Yeah.
She felt very threatened, but I think on the inside she liked it a lot.
Yeah, wasn't it the same girl that you're like, "Oh, Virginia
has
is
no
important."
Yeah. Well, I sat down with her, right?
Yeah.
Because I was on my sandwich break and she was trying to read. So I thought I'd go over and interrupt that. I was like, "What book are you reading?" She was like, "Oh, it's a title." I was like, "Oh, that's so neat." She's like, "Yeah, it's for school." I was like, "Where do you go to school?" She was like, "Virginia." I was like, "Oh, that's neat." 30 seconds of silence later, I'm like, "That's where we won, right?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "The fight for independence. The last battle happened in Virginia." She's like, "Yeah, I think so." I was like, "Oh, so Virginia is important." She's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then I ate a really greasy sandwich right next to her. So she probably thought that was really, really hot. What's another thing? One time, this girl came into the coffee shop. We'll call her Mo. And Mo pissed me off. I can't remember what she said. But she was eating a granola bar, and I was like, "I hope you choke on that granola bar."
Did you know her before that?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit. I had talked to her before.
Oh, okay.
And I told her that I hoped she would bald prematurely. So that's kind of a threat. It's not like I'm going to cause her to go bald. Well, maybe if I stress her out enough, her hair will, thin or something. But I'm not quite sure. So she liked that. She's still a little bit pissed at me for that. And, yeah, so that's step 2. Threaten them.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to step 3. Throw a lecherous comment at them. And if you don't know what lecherous means, it basically means sexually inappropriate. So you gotta throw one of those at them. For example, this morning, I got 6 shots of espresso over ice at my job because I don't have to work until noon today. So I thought, hey, Trev Dog and I could record a podcast.
Yeah.
So I got 6 shots of espresso over ice. And Chuck, right? That's what we were calling her?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I handed Chuck...
Was it Frank?
Frank. Might be Frank.
I
think it was Frank.
I think it was Frank.
Yeah, it was Frank. I handed... Frank's the one I threw the pin at. I handed her, a handful of $1 bills. And I was like... Would it be an uncomfortable thing to say if I told you that handing you a stack of $1 bills has always been a dream of mine? You gotta throw stuff like that at them. Another good one, if you're trying to throw a lecherous comment at someone that you find attractive, this only works in certain situations, but if you ever go to a video rental place, say Family Video or
a Blockbuster,
or a Blockbuster, and you happen to find one of those, you gotta go up to the counter. And it doesn't even matter if you don't know them that well. You're gonna really appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta hand them the movie and hand them the money and be like, "Well, I get a late fee when you miss your period," and you gotta throw a wink in there too, and Teeth
Yeah.
click. Another good one is if you go to a coffee shop and you think the barista is cute. When she hands you the coffee, you gotta take a sip of it and put your hand on her hand and say, "This caffeine isn't the only thing that's got me stimulated." Stuff like that.
I thought you were gonna say something about like the coffee being hot,
Oh yeah.
but that works too.
I was sitting outside with Chuck.
Chuck. Yeah.
She was like, "Aren't you cold? You wearing a short sleeve shirt?" I was like, "No, because you're so hot and you're sitting right next to me." It was really inspired. It felt great. It made it really uncomfortable though.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun story with Chuck is one time I was down in the basement doing something. I think I was like portioning at work. And she was down there grabbing coffee beans, and before she left, I was like, "Hello, mistress." Women like being called mistress, especially when you're on just like a friend basis with them. If you're trying to get things to the next level, you gotta throw something like that at them.
Yeah.
So
We'll call them like glucose or sucrose.
yeah, instead of sugar, you gotta be more specific. Like, you remind me of lactose, the milk commonly found in sugar that some demographics of people have trouble processing.
You mean the sugar commonly found in milk?
Did I say the milk commonly found in sugar?
Yeah.
Sound like an idiot. Anyway, so that's step 3. Throw a lecherous comment at them. So, yeah, try that.
I'm not unbuckled. I mean, what do
You gotta take our studio belts off. Okay, and then step 4 is threaten to hurt yourself if they don't go out with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think either of us have made it to like step 4 because,
Yeah.
you know,
They don't really stick around that long.
Yeah, I think
Like, by
it's
step
like
3.
they get really confused,
Yeah.
so they leave. It's like they feel like sexual attraction, but also like, you know, they get scared.
Because of how intense the feeling is.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mhm. So like, let's just come up with a scenario.
Scenario. Are you gonna come up with one?
I said let's.
Let us, like both of us at the same time.
Sure. All right. So there's a man coming.
Man? Oh, I thought you were talking about the scenario. No, a guy with a yellow shirt and a red hat and like khaki shorts is walking by our rolling studio currently. But yeah, he's gone now.
I feel like he heard you say that. And
Yeah,
he's
maybe.
Just, like ignoring it.
He's like pissed. He's like storming away like these fucking teenagers. He's done.
All right, so yeah, let's come up with a scenario. So let's say this this girl comes into the coffee shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like pretty attractive,
Yeah.
and like you what's step 1? Just you insult them. So like
Yeah,
let's say like she's wearing some colorful leggings, right? And it's like they make my eyes hurt, you know, like your scenario.
Yeah.
Like what's another insult you can throw at them?
So, like, if they have, like, a lot of full, long hair and you think that's, like, really pretty, you could say, "Wow, you have a lot of hair." And they'd be like, "Oh, yeah." And that's kind of, like, almost a compliment.
You have a lot of hair.
And then you gotta be all like, "How do you not choke on it when you sleep?" You gotta say something like that. So that's, like, it's kind of an insult. Looks really thick. You have very thick hair. Like, each strand is, like, a centimeter thick.
Then just throw a wink at
Yeah. And then we go on to step 2, right?
Yeah.
Threaten them.
Yeah. So like, what's another threat you could throw at them while working in a coffee shop? It's like it's like they order a latte. It's like I'm gonna heat this up to 250 degrees.
Then they curdle the milk.
Yeah.
What you do is, like, you say something like, "If you don't stop being so hot, I'm gonna give you your latte in, like, a really thin cup so you burn the shit out of your hand." So you know how it feels to, like, be around something too hot to handle. So that's
right.
the threat.
Yeah. Then throw a lecherous comment at them. What's another lecherous comment you can throw at them? I mean, you're pretty good at these.
Oh, lecherous comments?
Yeah. It's like, look at me. If I were a female, just pretend I'm a female.
I don't want to pretend you're a female.
Pretend I'm a female and throw a lecherous comment at me.
Don't wink at me. I don't know. One of my favorite lecherous comments is like, if they like come in a swimsuit or like short shorts or something like that, I don't really say like, oh, you look really hot, that kind of lecherous. I'm just like, you look cold. That's kind of lecherous because it's like making a comment about their lack of clothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an asshole thing to say though.
Yeah. I mean, I've used that one a few times.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, it's like,
I bet your grandmother would have a stroke if she knew how like little clothes you wore out in public.
just like in the office where it's just like, oh, you're showing your ankles. It's like, you're wearing open-toed shoes. I didn't know you were a whore.
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Oh, or you could be like, a cute top. You should take it off and let me wear it.
She's got a sensitive side because you wear women's clothing too.
Yeah.
You're like unbiased.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you get through those steps, and then it's like,
if you make it to step 4.
yeah, you go to ask her out. And it's like, if you don't go out with me, it's like you're just holding like some Windex or like some hot milk. And it's
just like pour a little bit of on your arm and be like, I'll hurt myself a lot more if you don't go out with me. Or like, you know,
I'm pour it in your eyes.
It's fucked up. Or be like, you know, I get pretty lonely and working at this coffee shop's kind of hard. I think that if I don't find someone soon, I might just turn the blender on and stick my hand in it. They really like
You're
that.
just hinting at the fact that you want to, go out with them.
Very badly, to the point that you're like willing to physically hurt yourself for the chance. That's pretty great. I think those 4 steps are good.
Yeah. I think we should try that.
Yeah. There are no women around right now.
I mean, there was that one jogger earlier, but she's probably long gone.
Yeah. She like jogged away.
Yeah. There might be some women down at the tennis courts. We could just hold the microphone up to their face while holding this tablet and just be like,
you can hit my balls around if you want. So you like to play with balls, huh? It's the same kind of motion, except for instead of a tennis racket and a very like large arc, like a violent swing, you could just like cup your hand slightly and bring it in slow. This is really awful.
Yeah.
What is that? That's like step 3? Lecherous Yeah, that's step 3. You can't skip step 1.
Yeah.
Your tennis shorts look like shit.
You're very sweaty.
You look like you're working hard, very sweaty. I love athletic women. I like the way that they're always covered in sweat. Yeah, okay, that's step 1. And then step 2 is threaten them. You're like, how durable is your tennis racket? Like, if I hit you with it really hard, would it break? And then you gotta get to step 3. You like hitting balls around, huh? And then step 4, be like, I'm gonna stick my arm in the like tennis ball launcher machine if you don't go out with me. It'll like break every bone in like my hand and wrist, and like snap my forearm in half. And then like the chafing will be really bad because like the wheels will still be spinning and shit. That'd be so awful.
Oh my god.
I think this works.
Yeah.
I think it'll go well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like my favorite thing to do after I make a woman really uncomfortable. After an attempted flirt, be like, I think that went well. It's my favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
Turn to the person standing next to me and be like, I think that went well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So.
Is that our first podcast?
I think that is our first podcast.
All right. Just remember, it's the only life you got. So you gotta live it big time. All right. Tune in to our next podcast. Eventually, all women will rip your heart out.
Yep.
We gotta prepare for that one. We have to go get our hearts ripped out now.
I already have.
Metaphorically.
Yeah. And physically.
Physically. Get some Kali Ma action up in here. You know, like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
But instead of a guy doing the Kali Ma, it'll be a girl. She'll just, like, rip your fucking heart out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.